morning, heart and soul. It's time for us to do a little praise and worship. Yes, yes? Something woke me up this morning, as it did you. It must have been the hand of God. Yes, yes? All right, so rest on your feet at home or in the sanctuary as you... Made in God. Something woke me up this morning, this morning, this morning. I said something woke me up this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. While I was sleeping, there was something that was keeping me. Something woke me up this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. Who told my heart to beat while I was fast asleep? Who kept me safe night and day, restoring me? Who raised me up and gave me love that's so complete? And every obstacle, who gives me the victory? Something dried my tears this morning, this morning, this morning. I said something dried my tears this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. While I was crying, I was still testifying that something dried my tears this morning. Come on, church. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. Oh, who told my heart to beat while I was fast asleep? Who kept me safe night and day, restoring me? Who raised me up and gave me love that's so complete? And every obstacle, who gives to me the victory? Something died my this morning, this morning, this morning. I said something woke me up this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. While I was sleeping, there was something that was keeping me. Something woke me up, 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 something woke me up. I said something woke me up, something woke me up, something woke me up, something woke me up, something woke me up this morning, this morning, this morning. I said something woke me up this morning. It must have been, it had to be, I know it was the hand of the Lord. Whoa! Yes, yes.
Thank you, Sharon, and Reflections. Thank you. Something woke me up this morning, sure enough. Yes? Yes. Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorites, which is why I asked y'all to sing it. Because if you think about it, it simply reminds us of divine source in a really powerful way. While I was sleeping, there was something that was keeping me. Oh, yes. So look, we are still declaring that we are on an adventure in faith. Yes? Well, some of us have proof of that because, you know, a group of us, the last time I spoke, which was August 24th, I think it was, I left the next day for Bangkok and then on to Bali. And so we's back. We are back. We had a magnificent, an amazing, a phenomenal time. And I would be remiss if we didn't share some of that with you. Well, Reverend Angelo and I are wearing some of our Bali wear. And so we wanted to make sure that you got a vision of some of what Bali left with us, or we left Bali with, regardless. And Thomas may have on a little piece as well, I'm not clear. But regardless, we had an amazing time. There were 26 of us. And, you know, for the introvert that is me, when I tell you I had a grand and glorious time, you know it must have been special for me to be among 26 people most of the time. It was some kind of good God experience, yes? Yes, so we are totally, totally grateful for a bunch of heart and soulers were in the mix, which frankly balanced it for us. That made it right and good. And so no doubt we will have another plan to go again. But look, the idea has come up that I am kind of hatching and considering to look at whether y'all would want to go to Costa Rica next November of 26. So, you know, take a look at that, feel it out, and see, and we'll be getting back to you with some more information, but it looks like that would be, the ideal time would be around Thanksgiving of 2026. So we'll just see how that feels. But in the meantime, we've got work to do. And part of that work can be done in the Essential Earnest course. Because there's something that was very clear, even on the trip to Bali, that is about consciousness and how we live and play together. And so that's what really showed up. I'm going to encourage you to be there. It begins this Tuesday, day after tomorrow. And it's for 8 Tuesdays. It's all online, so it's going to be easy, if not effortless, for everyone to participate. Look, when we offer a course, especially a CSL certificated course on a love offering basis, that's our way of saying this is important. And we don't want anybody to miss it based on what they think is their budget consideration or any perception of financial limitation. Being in any of the classes will help us to heal any sense of poverty and less thanness, lack and less thanness, yes? And so we're offering it on a love offering basis. The exception to that is if you're taking this course and you want a certificate from Centers for Spiritual Living, then we must pay them a fee. And so that's appropriate for us to do. We're going to be tithing to them no matter what, but if you want a certificate, then you must pay the tuition or at least $100 for that, yes? Okay, so that's on Tuesday. The QR code is there. You can get in and be a part of that. Also, there is so much that is going on. I am so grateful for our heart and soul chaplains that are offering grief tending. And so next Sunday evening, 5 to 6:30, it's always the last Sunday of the month. So next Sunday, they will offer their grief tending, a spiritual approach to grief and loss. This is not just, I know there are those individuals who have a physical loss. That is to say that there may be friends or family who have passed, and that's one form of grief. There are a lot of folks, though, who are going through grief just at such a time as this. There is so much that is happening in the world and that ought to be happening and is not happening in the world, all of which is and can be a source of grief. So I'm going to encourage you to not pretend, to not just decide that I got this, it's not bothering me. Be a part of these sessions so that you can be clear. We're counting on each other to make the kind of difference that we are required to make in the world, and we cannot do that from a soul-weary place. Yes? So I'm encouraging you to do that. On Wednesday, few days out of this week, Reverend Dr. Soni Cantrell-Smith will we'll have a conversation with her in our Imagining Justice. What I want you to know about Reverend Dr. Soni Cantrell-Smith is there's a quote from her that I want us to put up, even as I am sharing some things about her with you. First of all, let me just say that she is one of my dearest friends. I met Soni, I really wish before I got up here I had confirmed what year that might have been, but Soni and I were actually elected at the same time to the Ministers' Council. And when we got on, it was a very different council than when we left. And what I loved is that there was an immediate meeting of our heart and mind for us to evolve the council. And so, Soni, let me just say to you directly, thank you. Thank you for being my partner, my sister in the work that we were committed to do. I'm not clear why either of us, well, yes, I am. Something woke us up. I was about to question why we even ran for that position, how it was that we were even on the ballot. But we were, and once we were elected, we came together in a very specific way that left me loving you like a sister because of your commitment to making the kind of difference that needed to be made. And then beyond that, let me just say that it had to be that something woke her up. In order for her to even run for, because she is the elected, all spiritual leaders are not elected. In many paths, it's not an elected position. In ours, it is. And somehow, Sister ran for this. We had an interesting conversation before that I will keep between us. But the bottom line is that when I think about Soni, you took that major step, it feels like the hand of God. What was it that woke me up? What was it that guided you in this direction? Dare I say the hand and voice of the divine, guiding you in this way, because she was elected in 2022 and is making a tremendous difference. Her voice is one that comes from a depth of spiritual practice and a place of love and divine inclusion and acceptance. And it is for such a time as this. So my prayer is that not only would you consider rerunning to be reelected, but that you would, and yeah, on mic, this is what a friend does sometimes. Just, I can't even look at her right now. I'm going to turn this way. As I say, I really hope and pray that you are not just considering, but are making a decision about rerunning so that you would be reelected and are already clear about your platform. Yes, sister. Yes. Yes. Yes, Soni believes that we are all spiritual leaders, and we believe that you're the one to be elected and to be in this position of guidance. She says, as leaders, we must be able to articulate our vision and keep it alive through our faith in it. And we must create a sense of belonging and hope that this vision can transform our world. And what I'll add is that it will. When we do that, it absolutely will. Soni, I am so grateful for who you are and how you lead. The voice of love and clarity, of diversity and inclusion is powerful It's necessary, and I'm grateful that it resonates in you and that you're committed to it. That's what she's bringing on Wednesday night. When she's with us on Wednesday night, it's an opportunity for her to share some of that. Let me give you this quick taste. I know, give me just a little more. Let me give you this. She writes every month in the Science of Mind magazine. However, in the even month, and so I'm sharing with you from August of this year, in the even month, her column is Sacred Activism. And I'm just going to give you just this little taste where the title of this piece is From Principle to Practice, Love, Sacred Activism, and Science of Mind. This little excerpt is under the header, the subhead of Answering Love's Call. Soni writes, to answer the call of sacred activism is to say yes to love. Not the kind that waits to be felt, but the kind that is cultivated through mindfulness, courage, and connection. This love is messy, vulnerable, and incredibly powerful. It's what lifts us beyond despair and into possibility. We're not asked to fix the world by ourselves. We are asked to bring our piece of the light. Whether that means speaking up, creating art, building community, come on, tick off when you hear you're part of it. Volunteering, protesting, or simply being deeply present with someone else. It matters. Love multiplies when expressed. Excuse me. The sacred activist knows that to love is to risk, to stretch, and to remain awake to the needs of the world. Yet it is on the wings of love that we rise, not only in spirit, but in principle, carrying our vision into action and becoming the living presence of a world that works for everyone. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Soni Cantrell-Smith, with us on Wednesday night, but now I have requested very specifically of Sharon Henderson and Reflection, tapping. Because it feels so apropos, I know that that's what got Soni to us in this profound and meaningful way, is that something was tapping on her heart, tapping on her mind. I leave you now with Sharon Henderson and Reflections, tapping, and the next voice you hear will be that of Reverend Dr. Soni Cantrell-Smith.
You were tapping on my head. Is there something that I didn't do right? More than I need to know. Something that I need to write. You were tapping in the nighttime, tapping all day long. Maybe you just wanna hear a sweet song. Do you just want me to sing again? You were tapping on my heart. Tell me, what is the plan? Tell me how to heal my mind. Tell me how to walk this land. You were tapping in the nighttime, tapping all day long. Maybe I am the song of freedom. Am I the voice of so many men and women and children who love one another, men and women and children who sing for the rivers, men and women and children and men and women and children who sing for the mountains, men, women and children who sing for the hungry, men, women and children who sing for the dead, men and women and children, and men and women, children who sing for all people. I sing for Gaza, I sing for Sudan, oh, I sing for Israel, Mexico, Canada, Dominican, Venezuela. Oh, I sing for all people. Oh, I sing for all people. You were tapping on my head. There is something that I must have done right, but more that I need to know, more that I need to write. You were tapping on the nighttime, tapping all day long. Maybe you just wanna hear a sweet song. Do you want me? Do you want me? Do you want me to sing again? Do you want me to sing again? Do you want me to heal again, laugh again, fly again? Do you want me to feed the people? Do you want me to heal again? Do you want me to sing? Do you want me to vote? Do you want me to pray? Do you want me to live? Live again, live again, live again, live again, live again. You were tapping on my head.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, family. Reverend Dr. Andriette Earl, that introduction scared the hell out of me. Oh, I have to tell you before I share with you what I wrote today. When we were doing the reflection and I was sitting there with my eyes closed, I felt something. I had to grab my shoulder because I felt something during meditation. I felt something on my shoulder, and after meditation, I looked at Andriette and I said, "Did you touch my shoulder?" Because I felt something touch my shoulder, and at that moment, you said it was the hand of God. Yeah, well, at least she's denying it. It's a pleasure to be here with you all this morning. It is not only a pleasure, it's a blessing. It's a blessing just to be together in family. You know, I'm from Appalachia, and I want to go back to Appalachia for just a minute here in my talk, to an image from my childhood. And let me just say that we grew up very, very poor, and we grew our own food. Some of you may relate to that. Each spring, in order to grow our own food, each spring we had to prepare our fields for planting. And we used a plow horse to break the earth, to break up the earth from the winter and to create rows to make room for corn and potatoes and squash and beans and all the good stuff, collard greens. And in order to keep the horse moving in a straight line, my father would put blinders on the horse. And that blinders, for those of you who do not know, it's just simple leather shields that limit its vision to what was right in front of it, so that it wouldn't get distracted, right, by or limited by its view, wouldn't get distracted by what was off to the sides. So the horse didn't have to worry about what was behind it or what was happening behind it or in the distance. It only had to pull that plow in the row ahead and just keep pulling forward. Now, I was thinking about that image the other day, actually a couple weeks ago, because the image has never left me. And when I look in life, when I think about my spiritual growth, there are times when blinders serve us. You know what I'm saying? They help us focus. We learn what we need to learn, and we keep our eyes on what we want to do and who we want to become in the world. And truth be told, sometimes what we need is that singular focus to survive, right? But the thing is, for me, and I am a shift disturber. I better tell you that right now. As we learn and grow spiritually, we have the opportunity to discern what is ours to do, especially when we listen inward. Because when we listen inward, and I know your theme is from the inside out, when we listen inward, we hear guidance, don't we? We feel the hand of God. Maybe when we're listening inward, our direction shifts. And what we perhaps thought was right or what we thought we had to do changes. And pivoting takes courage, doesn't it? Right? Faith and trust, because we often don't know the outcome. And as human beings, we like to fix everything and know what's coming down the street or down the road. So most of the time when we're listening inward, like when I ran for spiritual leader and I said I lost my mind. We don't know what the outcome is. But one thing I've learned is if I trust my inner knowing, regardless of any doubt, regardless of the fear of the unknown or the unseen, I will move anyway. I will move anyway, because for me, there comes a time when the blinders must come off. And this is when our field of vision expands. We see more of the landscape. We see more of the hillside, the neighbor's fields, the sky, the challenges before us. We see more clearly the path that we're on. And this clarity sometimes brings a breath of fresh air, and sometimes it troubles us. But we realize just how much faith we have already invested, and how much trust was needed, and how much Spirit was already working under the surface in the invisible. We also recognize, hopefully, that the blinders were not always a constraint, but a gift. Because they protected us from distraction, from overwhelm, and from despair. And they helped us to till the soil we were working with, to plant the seeds, and to nurture what was ours to nurture at the time. Right? But today, the world is showing us just how much the blinders can be used against people. How institutions try to keep people confined, to limit what is visible, and to erase parts of our story. There's a movement right now, in case you don't know, of erasing Black history, women's history, DEI. We see it in the laws and the bills in many states that limit what can be taught about race, slavery, systemic racism. We have a Supreme Court that is allowing the man in power right now to do whatever he wants to do. We see erasure of people of color and their contributions in civil rights, in radical movements, and in national leadership. And make no mistake about it, when we erase history, we erase identity. We erase the opportunity of knowing what is possible in the future. We erase hope. There is a pattern, globally and locally, of governments, movements, leaders who seek to shrink what people are permitted to see or say, to control narratives, to centralize power, to suppress dissent. Now, I don't know about you all, but I've been there before. I'm old enough to remember the 60s. I might have been young. Well, I might have been. And we're back there again. And what this means to me is that there is a danger of a narrow focus when it's imposed upon us. When we are compelled to once again wear blinders or to get in line, not by our own inner discipline, by external forces. And the consequences of this is we lose awareness of injustice. Some people start to believe that this is how the world operates. And in the teachings of science of mind, we believe in one infinite reality, God, life, spirit, undivided, complete, including both visible and invisible, past and future. This principle helps us to resist the divisions imposed by exclusion or erasure. This principle helps us resist, let me say it again, the divisions imposed by exclusion or erasure. When we see all people as expressions of the one, we can refuse. We can refuse to let anyone's history or voice be erased or deemed unimportant. It is so important to remember that love is the self-givingness of a universal spirit, the impulse through which God expresses as creation. As Thomas Merton wrote in Choosing to Love the World, there is in us an instinct for newness, for renewal, for a liberation of creative power. We seek to awaken in ourselves a force which really changes our lives from within. And yet, at the same time, instinct tells us that this change is a recovery of that which is deepest, most original, most personal in ourselves. Because to be born again is not to be somebody else. It's to become ourselves. Authentic and real. And I would add that once we get real with ourselves and discover that love is who we are, then we have a responsibility to take this self-discovery into the world. Because love calls us to active compassion. It calls us to speak up, to share truths, centering marginalized voices and restoring histories. This is not just a moral imperative, it is a spiritual one. Love, in the teaching of Science of Mind, is the principle through which spirit expresses itself in the world. To love in this way is to align with the universal reality, here we go, that we are all one. All histories are sacred. Every voice matters. Our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality. And in the teachings of Science of Mind, we understand that what we hold in our mind, our beliefs, our assumptions, what we choose to teach, and what stories we choose to include or omit forms the foundation of cultural consciousness. If we believe that some people's history, some voices are less important, that belief becomes part of the shared consciousness around us, and the world begins to behave accordingly. Right now, as I am speaking, there is a memorial of over 100,000 people in Arizona memorializing where the President of the United States is speaking, who is a racist. I want you to think about that. Because I'll tell you, it scares me. We are living in a world where the leader of the United States is preaching fear and violence, who is demanding that people who do not agree with him are shut down. But here's the thing. If we believe in full inclusive truth, that black history and women's history, indigenous history, the silenced voices are essential, we begin to manifest a reality in which people are honored for who they are. And love does not stop at sympathy or feeling. Love must call us to compassion, the work of speaking and sharing and restoring. And belief doesn't stay in the mind. What we believe shapes what we do, who we are, and ultimately what the culture becomes. When we combine active love with conscious, inclusive belief, we open the path for restoring what has been erased, for resisting authoritarianism, for narrowing the truth, for building societies where each person is seen, honored, and free. And free. And remember, freedom is the birthright in science of mind. We are free to choose our experience, to claim innate worth, to live out of our true nature. And when authoritarianism or censorship tries to limit us, science of mind reminds us that we have an inner freedom. And that outer freedom often follows when enough people claim their inner freedom and speak accordingly. As Ernest Holmes said, in expressing more life, we are expressing a greater degree of infinity of the Spirit. We are more completely personifying it. And this is the real purpose and meaning of existence. It is the nature of the Spirit to express through us, as us, not in limitation, fear, or want, but in freedom. Especially freedom of speech, I might add. Because we got a problem with freedom of speech right now, too. And hear me when I say I believe there is a point in our lives when we are called to find courage. Courage to see beyond what is comfortable. Just like removing the horse's blinders, allowing us to see all around, we need courage to see what's happening on the sides. The oppression, the inequity, the discarded voices. Faith to move even without knowing the outcome. We are being called to move without even knowing the outcome. When we see injustice, book bans, censorship, authoritarian moves, we may not be able to immediately change it, but I believe everyone in this room right now knows what is right. And I believe everyone in this room at one time or another has listened and trusted their inner guidance, and that you have chosen to act anyway. And right now, we're called to act. To support education that is inclusive. To vote for leaders who protect free speech and advocate for visibility of the marginalized. And no one walks this earth alone. Just as the horse pulls the plow, but the field itself depends on the soil. It depends on the weather. It depends on the farmer, the seed, the rain. We need each other. We need community. We need to stand together. We need coalitions formed across differences. Racial, gender, identity, class, so that our shared love and truth are stronger than the forces trying to narrow our vision. In our Appalachian field, the horse was strong and the row straight, but the value of the blinders was getting started in focusing. If the blinders never came off, the horse would never see what was in front of it, around it, the whole field, and what was happening. The horse might miss the fence or the neighbor or the horizon. And it might never know that there is a beautiful world beyond that row. And Spirit does this for us too. At first, we may need blinders for protection, because there is times when we do need protection and we do need focus. But growing spiritually, we learn when to take them off. When to see wider, to include more, and to love more boldly. So my invitation this morning that I hope you all will consider is, where are our blinders right now? The things within us or imposed on us that limit our vision. Where do we need to expand love in our families, our communities, our schools, our politics? What stories are being erased around us in a second? And what part can we play in telling them, listening, documenting, teaching? Who are we willing to become in order to speak truth to power? How do we build courage and faith and trust so that even when we can't see the full outcome, we walk towards justice and inclusion anyway? Thich Nhat Hanh once said, nonviolent action, born of the awareness of suffering and nurtured by love, is the most effective way to comfort adversity. And these words continue to remind me that love is not passive but active. Listening becomes liberation, remembering becomes healing, and speaking truth becomes a radical form of compassion. When we act from that kind of love, one that sees the suffering of another as bound up with our own, even silence becomes a betrayal, and every erased story becomes a summons to restore. Some of us may not see the full harvest in our lifetime, but when we plant seeds of truth, equity, and inclusion, when we organize ourselves in love, teach what has been hidden, honor those omitted in history, when we move together towards a future in which we become bearers of memory, guardians of stories, we root ourselves in a spiritual truth that honoring those erased and speaking truth is not optional, but essential to the fabric of a just and loving world. Beloveds, we have work to do. As Audre Lorde reminded us, your silence will not protect you. But in our voices, our actions, and our unity, we find strength. Together we can restore what has been erased, amplify what has been silenced, and build a world where love is not just spoken but lived. The spiritual challenge of our time is not only to call out falsehood, but to embody another way of being. When society glorifies hate, our practice must magnify love. When power is hoarded, our practice must be generosity. When lies are normalized, our practice must be truth-telling, gentle when possible, but fierce when necessary. All right? Spirituality does not call us to escape these realities, but to stand in the heart of them with courage. To remember that the sacred is not neutral in the face of violence, erasure, or oppression. The sacred insists every life, every story, every voice matters. So as others raise the banner of false martyrs, let us lift the voices of real prophets. As others attempt to erase, let us commit to remembering. And as others normalize violence, let us embody a fierce peace, the kind that refuses to yield to fear, the kind that knows love is not passive but powerful, not naive, but Lord, it is necessary. Because you know why? Because in the end, spirituality is not an escape from the world as it is. It is an invitation to remake the world as it could be. Peace and blessings, my family.
Let's give her another hand for that message, that timely message. Thank you for telling the truth from the pulpit. Thank you. We need more like you. Oh. So we are one. Yes, yes. We need to keep doing this to each other. And we're going to stop here and now. But I'm going to tell you the story about it. We're going to sing about it, and you all know this one. Come on. We are one. Put your hands together. Understand why we treat each other in this way, taking up time with the silly, silly games we play. We've got our love, and no matter how it's said or done, oh, 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 we are one. No matter what we do, we are one. And love will see us through, we are one. And that's the way it is, we are one. Oh, oh. Hey, come on, y'all. I can't understand, I won't understand why we treat each other in this way. Taking up time with the silly, silly games we play. Now we've got so much we should all be having so much fun. Oh, 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 we are one. From the very start, we are one. Deep down in our heart, we are one. And that's the way it is, we are one. Yeah, yeah. Way no more. We won't take up time in the silly, silly games we used to play. 'Cause we've got so much, we will all be having so much fun. Oh, 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 we are one. No matter what we do, we are one. And love will see us through, we are one. Right from the very start, we are one. Deep down in our heart, we are one. Oh, from the very start, we are one. Right from our heart, we are one. We are one. Come on, y'all, we are one. We Oh,